Hello everyone, I'm Norm Duke and I am here at the Storm plant in Brigham City, Utah. I tell you what, it's one of my favorite things to do. There's so much stuff here. When you walk through this manufacturing facility, there is literally bowling balls everywhere. And if you're a bowler, it's about the best sight you can ask for, right?
It's like Disneyland.
Yeah, it is. So tell me, supernova.
This guy.
Why supernova?
The supernova is a powerful and luminous explosion of a star. Like you're a star.
And we exploded at a young age.
Right. Well.
Now we're kind of petering out.
So Norm, you were very young when you exploded onto the PBA. 18, right?
I was 17 when I first started, but 18 is when I joined.
When you won your first title.
Yeah,
when
18.
you were 18 years old. That's
you were
amazing.
19. You kind of know what I went through then.
I know. Did you ever think then that your career would be where it is, ended up now?
At a very early age, Leanne, yes.
Dreams.
Dreams. And you thought, man, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to beat Earl Anthony to death and I'm going to this and that. And you really believed it. And I thought to myself, I will be a pro bowler for the rest of my life. And then my first game on television was against Earl Anthony, and I won. And I thought, oh yeah, this is just as planned. But then my star kind of blew out for about 7 or 8 years, and reality hit, where I was an 8-year pro with 1 title. And so, yeah, I didn't at that point think that my career would be 40 years long.
Wait, you won your first title and then you didn't win your second one for 8 more years?
It was 8 years
Really?
later. Yes.
Did you guys know that? I did not know
Yeah,
that.
those were the most somber 8 years of my life, because I was traveling with some of the greatest names in bowling. I had Voss and Weber, and they were signing autographs galore everywhere, and I was just like, can I get you a cup of coffee? Something. And nobody knew me, nobody cared. But then I got it. I mean, probably just like you, we had to figure out what it was.
So you were learning every year.
Oh yeah, I was building.
Figuring it out.
I had to build it.
Yeah.
I didn't have anything that no one else could do. I couldn't dunk a basketball like LeBron. I couldn't hit it over a fence, and I couldn't get 400 or 500 revs on it. So I had to figure out versatility and make my own way that way. And that is not something that you just do overnight, folks. You've got to learn what it is that you're missing, and then you have to rededicate yourself to obtain some of those skills that will last the test of time. And Agreed, yeah. Now, how long was it before your second title, after your first? Did you win the next week? I mean, did you back-to-back out of the gate?
I did. I won 3 titles one summer. I won in Algonquin, Illinois, Fresno, California, and Saginaw, Michigan.
And all while you were 19?
In July and August, yeah.
While you were in your
That was
teens?
my rookie year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can you sign my shoe?
But then, you have that up and down and stuff. And my down year was the short oil year.
Oh, I remember that.
94 maybe or whatever.
Yeah, that's
90.
when I caught fire.
It was an adjustment, boy. It was like...
It was free hook for me. Now, her nickname is Boomer. That's because she had all these revs and everything. So short oil for her would have been a little more of a task.
I did not like it.
For me, it was right up my alley. But yeah, 94 is kind of when I caught fire.
So Norm, you and I have been around a long time.
Yes.
I mean, we could tell the truth, right? We've been around a long time. You know who else has been around a long time?
Who?
Storm.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
And you've been with them a long time.
Yeah. They've been around for about as long as I can remember. I mean, even when you and I were not on the Storm staff, early years, Bill and Barbara were everywhere.
They were always at our tournaments. Barbara especially would come to the ladies' tournaments that she said the ladies were always her favorite. And I've always been a fan of them for that.
Right. And, I started out as a competitor with Storm, with Champions and Power Play. And Bill and Barbara were always at the trade shows. And I told Bill one day, I said, I'm going to be a Storm staffer. And he said, I believe you. And it was a good 10 years later that I chose Storm. That was what most people wouldn't know, is that when it came time for me to choose a life brand, I chose Storm. I called them here and said, I want to be a staffer with you. And it took a little while, honestly, because they're so committed to their current staff. They told me, Norm, we just don't have room for you right now. And I went, what do you mean? But eventually it happened. It wasn't, too long a wait. And I've been here ever since, and I'm not going anywhere. I love Storm.
A few titles later.
Yeah, a few.
More than a few.
Yeah. So how did you get hooked up with Storm?
Well, I was lucky because I got a job here, and it was already, our original tour had ended, so I needed a job, right? Mm-hmm. So I had decided in my career that I wanted to give back to the sport that had been so good to me, because you reflect and stuff, and you're grateful for what you do. And so having a job here lets me do that. So it's easy, right? So I have a job that lets me give back to the sport of bowling, so pretty good choice.
Great. So when they make this brand new ball, do they run it by you first? Because I'd say, bring Leanne in here, let's see if this thing has wheels.
No, sometimes we get to do the fragrance test. That's a cool job. Yeah. Norm, do you ever think about how many bowling balls Storm makes?
Well, I see them when I walk into the plant, and I can't even imagine. Over the years,
crazy. I mean, there's a full line of bowling balls, not just for the pros like you and Jason or Kelly and Liz. We have bowling balls for everybody.
Well, we have to. Listen, in bowling, to knock 10 pins down, you need power. To have power, you need a hook. And not everybody can get a hook just with a follow through. So we make bowling balls that everyone can go play the same condition with. So if you are like me, maybe a little bit trouble getting revs nowadays, we make a bowling ball that'll get a hook for you. And if you are, let's say, Jason, you mentioned him, with 500 rev rate, yes, we make bowling balls for him too. So if you're a bowler, it doesn't matter what level, we got you.
We got you covered. The Bowlers Company.